Okay, everybody, cue spoon and music in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the SpewnedIt Podcast. My name is Joel Brown. This is my good mate, Jensen Anderson. Now, we've been mates for a very, very long time, okay? But one of the first things that was a potential, divide between us is the fact that we're from different places, okay? So Jensen, my good mate, is just a stone's throw away across the pond in the US of A, okay? I'm in the UK here, chilling out. Weather has been gorgeous, Jensen, I believe for yourself as well. So that is one thing where it is keeping us on the same tier. Mm-hmm. However, a very long debate that has gone between us two has been whose football is better, right? Now, obviously, there's only one answer to this because only one of the games you actually use your feet to play the game. But before we just turn this into a shouting contest, we just wanted to, I want to pose this to you guys as well. If you could only associate yourself with one sport for the rest of your life, so I'm talking like if you wanted to play it, if you wanted to watch it, being involved, anything at all, what sport would that be? Before we go any further, chuck a like on the video, chuck your answer in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Now, I've been playing football since ages. Proper football, right? English football, soccer for you Americans out there as well. I've been playing that since ages. I've still got a little football kit that I had, literally this big. It is tiny, but it's the beautiful game. That's what it is, literally called, the beautiful game. I love football, and it's been something that has been just a part of my life for a long time. You know, as soon as I could sort of start to have conversations, my dad was like, "Look, Joel, you're a Chelsea fan." Okay, it wasn't a question, it was an instruction, and that just happened. And obviously, great decision, because up the boys, like we were saying last weekend as well. But it was, it's just been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and I love playing it. Used to play it all the time during school, to be fair, Jensen. I think I remember you telling me, me telling you about this. I did get Jensen to play it occasionally. We had a story a few weekends ago around the PS Vita, and I was taking the Sounders to the Champions League. Come on, the boys! Let's go. So that very entertaining. That was such a good time. But apart from that, I remember us doing a few funny things with commentating over matches, and that was really quite entertaining.
That was always fun.
But that feels like ages ago now. Now obviously we don't want this to just be a one-sided thing. So Jensen, I know that you are you're more of a fan of American football, and that's understandable. So why are you so into it?
That is a wonderful question, Joel, and there are so many reasons. Pardon me. So first of all, you mentioned the part about goodness, we're struggling today. You mentioned the part about the game being played with your feet. I will have you know that even though feet doesn't always come into play in American football, the guy who is the highest scoring player out of any player in American football history just retired. His name is Adam Vinatieri, and he was a kicker. So there you go.
Yeah,
anyway, anyway, similar to you. I also grew up with a game of American football. I would, play in the yard with my brother and my dad, and I played on a team when I was 10, I believe, and running around in little pads, clashing together. It was the coolest thing. And at that age, it's everyone's solo skill. It's just like who can run the fastest, and you get that one kid who you give the ball to and you win the game. My team was terrible. We were all a bunch of kids playing for the first time. We were literally the rookie team, but it was a blast. I loved it. And after practice, me and my friend Dylan, we were on different teams, unfortunately, but we would go downstairs and set up a bunch of couch cushions and run into them with the football and stuff. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
So many memories. But one that sticks out to me, and I mentioned too with my dad, and it's just been a bonding thing. You sit on the game, you sit on the couch, watch the game, and you just bond together, and there's so much excitement and connection that happens there. I think that's with all sports, and everybody has their own memories with that. But what I was going to say was one memory that really sticks out to me with American football is living in Uganda. Obviously, the time difference is crazy. And even between me and you now, it's
true.
like 10 hours. 10 hours, I believe.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
In Uganda, during certain months, there would be like an 11-hour time difference with global warming. Or not. Daylight savings.
There you go.
Oh, man. Anyway, so we would literally have to, my dad, my little brothers, and I would get up or stay up. Actually, we would tend to like sleep and then get up at like 2 a.m. to go into the local town, which had a big projector sports thing, and they would get like the ESPN network or something. And it wasn't like regular TV. It was some satellite thing. And the feed was hilarious because we'd go in there, we'd watch the game. They'd have the normal announcers and stuff. And then like for commercials, they would either not have commercials and have just some random view in the stadium, which was hilarious.
No way.
Or they would have like these like ESPN specific commercials, and they would have like 4 of them for a 3-hour game. So we would memorize them by the end of the game because you would hear the same thing over and over and over again. It was crazy. It was such a wacky experience, but we just loved the game so much. We didn't go every time, obviously, but we would go for like the Super Bowl playoff games. We went for a few, different basketball events, but I remember there's a very, very famous, my team is the Seahawks. I'm from Seattle, and there's a very famous moment in Seattle Seahawks history called the Fail Mary, where during the NFL's league in 2012, I believe it was, all of the referees had gone on strike. And so they had like backup referees, and there was just all these crazy things that happened around the league. But one of the biggest moments that happened was, I believe, in week 2 of that season with the backup referees. Last second Hail Mary, Russell Wilson throws the ball to Golden Tate, and he catches it, but the defender like also catches it and sort of has more possession. And anyway, long story short, the call goes the way of the Seahawks, and we win the game because of that.
No.
But it should have gone the other way, but the referees messed it up. And that spurred on the league to like, okay, we got to get our referees back. This is ridiculous. So anyway, a long way of saying tons of memories with the game. Love it. Best sport out there, hands down. End of discussion. End of podcast. Have a good day. No, I'm just kidding.
Debatable. Well, I mean, Jets, you could go off. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay chatting. I didn't realize about the adverts though. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think one thing that really stuck out to me. So any time that I have been able to, I've been playing football. Like I was in every single school team that I could, and it was a really, really good experience to be able to, with my boys, with my mates, be able and just get properly competitive against some of these other schools. And playing in Uganda, a lot of these guys, they're twice my size. They're way quicker than me. It was really, really tough. But one memory that really sticks out, and this was quite early on actually, so I must have only been in Uganda probably about 2 years at this point. I joined the local school for like occasional just little lessons because I was being homeschooled as well. And I think it was at lunchtime. So, like, me and the rest of the year, like, we're just playing, we're messing about. And at this point, like, I hadn't been there too long at the school, so I'm still kind of, like, getting my bearings. I'm still getting comfortable with people. And so I've got the ball, and I think, let's say I'm going up the left wing, right, charging ahead. And I think it was either someone that, so obviously I've got my eye on this guy that's coming along to the right. I'm thinking, right, what's my game plan here? And then this guy that was just behind me just shouts. It's like, oi! And I freak out and just like end up doing a beeline, like just in the opposite direction from the ball, looking about, thinking, what is going on? And then obviously they get the ball, everyone is in stitches, and I'm just there so embarrassed. But I was like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna get you now. And then it was a brilliant time. And obviously after that, people kept trying it again, and I was like, no way! I've learnt now. I'm invincible. You cannot get the ball off me. I mean, like you said, Jen, so many memories, and I think the nice thing for us is that it's been like that. But the reason there are so many memories is because it's been presented to us even from a very, very young age. I imagine the first time I kicked a ball, I'm like, basically as soon as I could walk, I would have been kicking a ball about, which is amazing. And I'm sure you would have been doing a similar type of thing. Obviously, with these sports, there may be a reason or two why it might not be the best idea to be like solely related to this sport. And actually, when we were chatting about this before, I mentioned that I saw this thing online the other day where it was saying a lot of football players, I mean, especially defenders, because obviously they use their head like a lot more to like, you know, defensive headers and all of that, are having like injuries later on in life. So I was like, flipping, I do not want to be involved in that. Like that's something a little like quite concerning. And obviously that is at like a professional level, which I know it's a shock, but I don't actually play at that professional level. But that is still something that I just would not want to be involved. So I was thinking, if there would be a reason why I'd be like, you know what, that might not be the best option to choose. Maybe I should choose like, I don't know, like speedboat racing or something. That would be the reason. And I was wondering if you would have like a similar sort of thing, like a reason why you'd be like, maybe not that.
Yeah, of course, the injuries always are going to be a factor whenever you've got like some of the best athletes in the world running at each other in any sport. But American football is fairly famous for their previous lack of concern with concussions and head trauma and CTE that comes from that, which is a bummer. And the movie Concussion is a really hard one to watch as a football fan, because basically the whole time Will Smith plays this doctor and he's just trying to get the NFL to like acknowledge that people have serious, you know, post football life issues and they get really messed up because of this. And the NFL wasn't providing a lot of support. So anyway, it's a tough one to watch, and they've gotten a lot better. I think there's a lot more awareness around it. They are always implementing rules, trying to prevent people from hitting their heads on stuff. They focus on the shoulder, which I believe rugby players do a really good job of, stuff like that. So that's good. It's, you know, it's always going to be a part of the game, and it's always hard to see somebody get hurt. But there's always, you know, it's always cool to see the kind of the human element that comes from that sometimes too. Not that it's great that they get hurt, but like, I don't know, if it's a leg injury and they battle through it and come back through. A really good story is Alex Smith, who like literally almost died from infections relating to a leg injury surgery that he was having. And he battled all the way back, and they said he wasn't going to walk again. And he ended up playing in the NFL last year. Absolutely crazy.
Seriously.
Just the mental fortitude
that's wicked.
to be able to do that is just beyond.
Yeah.
So anyway, the other reason is that American football only runs through September through February. So the rest of the year, we're just talking about trades and theories, and it's just like, it's maddening to be an NFL fan sometimes, because you just have to like scrounge in the dirt for any news of what's happening, or like any rumor you could latch onto, like, oh, this player might go over here, maybe. That's amazing. Let's talk about that for 45 minutes on sports radio today. Oof. And but anyway, it's great. I love it, and I could not and would not give it up. So that's me. That's American football. But we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what sport you latch onto, whether it be silly little European football, kicking a little ball around in the nets. I don't know, like silly, just ridiculous. Or hardcore American football with pads and helmets and you're looking cool. Or baseball, whatever.
Rubbish. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry.
Oh God, are you okay? No.
Yeah.
But no, we enjoy our little debates here, and at the end of the day, we're still brothers, and exactly. it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. So yeah, Indeed. Let us know. Leave us a comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think, and we will see you next time.